Well, ladies and gentlemen, not only is Wonder Woman revolutionizing the superhero genre and blowing away records left, right, and center, but Wonder Woman's having a profound impact on those people who go to see the movie. And that's the universal appeal for this movie is genuine. It's a genuine universal appeal because this movie gives more than just entertainment. It gives substance. You hear women say that they didn't realize how much they missed a lot of aspects of female lead role models, that they haven't seen that on the big screen. You hear other people talk about how much this movie inspires them to want to act and do loving, kind things because of the emphasis on the movie. So it's very inspirational, and it's causing people to be agents of change. And so it's no surprise that Gavin Fang posts on the 30th of June Tom Holland holding Wonder Woman and Marissa Tomei holding Wonder Woman. And these are two actors who acted in the Marvel-Sony collaboration of Spider-Man Homecoming. Why that is monumental is because they realize the significance of the history of this film. And I do believe they're holding, this is either Chinese or Japanese. I believe that's Chinese because June 2nd it came out in China. So that's probably Chinese. But really what's cool about this, besides them plugging for Spider-Man Homecoming as well as plugging for Wonder Woman at the same time, which I think is rather ingenious, is the fact that they reflect on the sentiment globally, a universal sentiment that this movie had substance in it and was different to other superhero movies, not just in terms of gender, but in terms of its message. And so Wonder Woman comes out this Wednesday, tomorrow, in Japan. As you can see, one of the Japanese posters here of Wonder Woman. Really awesome. And here we have some Japanese anime drawers, illustrators, and they do the anime here for Wonder Woman. It's really cool. I really prefer this particular depiction, illustration of Wonder Woman. All the rest do not really appeal to me, but this one absolutely does appeal to me. I really like this poster, this particular one. And we've also had, by Warner Brothers, some manga showing Wonder Woman here, Hippolyta and Steve Trevor. All right, see Wonder Woman here striking that famous Wonder Woman pose we've seen in so many posters. But back to Tom Holland and also Marissa Tomei. They are featured in Spider-Man Homecoming. And why am I featuring Spider-Man Homecoming at this moment? It's because Spider-Man Homecoming did something that I thought was rather cool. And I think Zack Snyder has done this a number of times, as well as Christopher Nolan, which is to sort of reinvent the character some. So that Spider-Man is not a rehash of the first story or the second story of Spider-Man. And I really appreciated that. Now, Spider-Man had more of a tech suit. As you can see here, he has a tech suit here. And, you know, that's cool. But the thing about it that really interested me was the fact that the story kind of deviated in a number of ways. The first thing is, when I think of Spider-Man, I really think of a college guy who's working on the side, and then he becomes a professional worker for journalism, right? Kind of like how Clark Kent was a big guy and he went to the Daily Planet. You know, Spider-Man went to the Daily Bugle. It's just as Clark Kent has the red and blue, you know, Spider-Man has the red and blue, right? So I kind of appreciate that. This Spider-Man is much younger. He's in high school. He's a 15-year-old. And so we're seeing a developing Spider-Man, which is kind of a page out of Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins and Superman's Man of Steel. And I thought that was very interesting and intriguing. At the same time, also, the fact that Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they don't speak and rehash a lot of his initial history with the death of Uncle Ben. We know Uncle Ben is dead. We know we have Aunt May. Aunt May is a lot younger. And I find this very interesting. So this take is very fresh, very different. And the fact that Spider-Man is associated with the MCU, the Avengers, and that this is where he gets his new costume, his Spider-Man costume from, which you can see is very techie, a very techie costume here. So I find the story very fresh and different and interesting. And fresh and different and interesting always appeals to me. And I know there's more backstory they will go into. But also, in addition to that, I like Tom Holland. I like what he's doing. I know it's not Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I mean, still, to me, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man I've ever seen was Tobey Maguire. But Tom Holland's Spider-Man brings a lot of different elements to it. And this enables Tom Holland to break the fourth wall, which is what he's doing now. So Tom Holland is commenting on Wonder Woman. He commented on Justice League. He commented on Infinity War. And he's talking in the media all the time, kind of like what Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool. And I find that very interesting. And I hope he keeps that up, that he talks in media and in places. And he comments on any comic book movie. It doesn't matter if it's Fox, Marvel, or DC Marvel, or Transformers, or Power Rangers. He should just comment on all characters in comic book movies. He should just keep the chatter going, because that's kind of like what Spider-Man does. Spider-Man's known for his mouth. Deadpool's known for his mouth. That's the thing they have in common with one another. And so I think that's what he should do, and he should continue doing that. I really like it. I like how he comments on all these different comic book movies and movies in general. And I think Tom Holland has on to something there. I didn't know he was British, by the way. I didn't know he was British. I didn't know he was British, by the way. Okay. So Spider-Man's coming out in Japan. It's come out in Japan. It's doing well. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming, go check it out. It's really good. Now, I wanted to talk about something Scott Mendelson said concerning Wonder Woman's box office. So they say that now she's moving off from $404 million. And possibly this movie may be going all the way up to $409, $410 million. But he feels that Warner Bros. Might pull it because Justice League might not make as much. It might be too tall an order. I just don't agree with Scott Mendelson for one reason, and one reason only. Justice League is going to have Wonder Woman in it, so that if Wonder Woman has created such a stir, the movie, and Wonder Woman's in Justice League next, what do you expect of Justice League? All of those people who came in to see Wonder Woman are going to go see Wonder Woman in Justice League. On top of that, you got Batman there, you got Superman there, and you got Superman fans, and you got Batman fans. So those people come see Justice. So Justice League is being directed by Joss Whedon. I mean, he's the guy who pretty much made the box office for comic book movies. And then you got Zack Snyder. So, I mean, you can't beat this movie. This movie is going to do what it does, all right? And it doesn't matter how much gossip and negativity you put towards this movie is going to make bank, okay? Now, in terms of critical reception, I can't really say. I assume that its critical reception will maybe less than Wonder Woman, maybe more. It depends. I don't know. But what I do know is this movie is going to make bank. It's going to make payday. I think about all of the DCEU movies. And they seem to be invulnerable to criticism by critics. Man of Steel made bank. Then Batman v Superman made serious bank. And then Suicide Squad came after. And even though they trounced it, they really mistreat the movie, Marvel and DC fans came together, enjoyed the stuffing out of the movie, and the movie banked in $745 million without China. Take out the box office for China for Wonder Woman, and it doesn't make as much as Suicide Squad. Take out the box office for China for Batman v Superman, and it makes just a little bit more than Suicide Squad. You get what I'm saying? So, Suicide Squad is not something to joke around about, okay? The movie was extremely successful financially, and that's because people didn't listen to the critics, and they went and saw the movie. So this Justice League movie, it really doesn't matter if the critics like it. It doesn't matter if they hate it, even though I do feel because Joss Whedon's on board, he's going to do everything in his power to make sure everybody likes the film. He likes to know, he feels his movies succeed when it gets universal reception. So Whedon's going to work on that. Some way, somehow, he's going to figure out how to keep Zack Snyder's story in there and work it in such a way. And he's so good with dialogue and interaction of characters that I just have a strong feeling this with Whedon there, it's just, I mean, Zack, Zack's, man, Zack, I don't know how he got him, but he got Whedon to do it. So that's kind of cool because Whedon's the dude when it comes to comic book movies. He's the gold standard. Not in terms of like taste, because he's not Avengers wasn't my taste, or Age of Ultron, but in terms of universal appeal, Whedon's your guy, and he's shown it. Box office and critical and audience reception, Whedon's movies do well. So I mean, if Whedon's on this, you're going to get a certain standard, and that's that. So and it's not going to be watered down because Whedon's on it. Whedon knows. You see, it depends on the material Whedon's working with. When he was working with the Avengers, I guess the studio also had a say in it, and so he was not able to do what he really wanted to do with Avengers, Age of Ultron especially. They clash head and stuff. But with Warner Brothers, Whedon hopefully, well, more than likely, because Zack Snyder is still the guy who's directing it. Whedon will be able to have his way, the way Whedon really wants to do it, because Zack will give him that freedom to do what Whedon does with the material that Zack gives him to do. So Whedon's going to do it the way he really wants to do it, how he passionately wants to do it, and in a manner that which the general universal appeal of this movie, people will still be able to digest the stuff. Some of this stuff is going to be just like Wonder Woman, but worse than Wonder Woman. It's going to be very, very, very horrific in some respects. Okay, expect it to be, because these are parademons, and parademons, they are the dead that have been reenacted and reanimated. Okay, so this is kind of slightly horrific, and there's certain elements of this movie that are going to be dark. Okay, now, just because people hear him saying that the challenge is to lighten up Cyborg, that was the plan, I guess, all along, to lighten up Cyborg some, because Cyborg's like the core of the Justice League movie. So it's very important that Cyborg is not too heavy. And I think the way how they're approaching this, once again, is by feeding off of the Flash. Cyborg and the Flash, they seem to be buddies, or they end up being buddies. So I have a feeling that by having Flash kind of play off of Cyborg, and even Aquaman at times, that you'll get that levity that you're looking for. Okay? But Cyborg's story is tough. It's a very tough story. So, just wanted you guys to know that. Yeah, so yeah, Justice League's going to put in bank, man. Justice League's going to bank some serious money. So I'm not worried about Justice League at all. Especially also that there's going to be jump off movies from this, the spin-off like Aquaman, etc. And the DC is going to have that balance of characters, the different kinds of characters in it. And I think this is probably the first time you're actually going to see an ensemble film. See, they thought Batman v Superman, like, what's her name? Erroneously, Grace Randolph was saying that Batman v Superman is to be compared with the Avengers. No, this movie, the Justice League, is to be compared with the Avengers. This is the ensemble movie. Suicide Squad, you could compare that to the Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy, because those are ensemble films. Batman v Superman was not an ensemble film. It was primarily Batman versus Superman. That's what the movie was. Dawn of Justice was just, it wasn't anything. It was just like, you're getting a sort of kind of feel of it. But now with the Justice League, this is where you're actually going to see the dawn of justice. Alright? Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video here. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Share, subscribe, and if you want, donate. You guys have a great one.